Thank you. I had pressed the button, but somehow it did not go according to plan. Thank you very much. As I said, njoba sengishilo ukuthi namhlanje ake sibheke le ndaba ye-campaign ikakhulu. Sikhulumile nge-campaign namhlanje ngithi asisidume kule ndaba ye-process nama-rules. Angazi noma nisayikhumbula ukuthi we highlighted the issue yokuthi i-campaign ine-process ne-rule. So namhlanje we need to take one role sihambe naye sike sibheke ukuthi njoba sisho ukuthi umuntu akufanele agxamalaze yonke indawo makusetshenzwa kwi-campaign. Wonke umuntu ufanele abe selayinini yakhe ukuze singaxabani, because uma ngithunywe something nawe uyenza then isoso yokuxabana manje ukuthi you are not awungiboni mina ukuthi ngawenza umsebenzi wami. On the other hand, uma unezwe i-task ungasebenzi, it must be clear ukuthi ubani owakumsebenzi wakhe ukwenza leyo nto so that sikwazi ukuthi sifinyelele ekugcineni. Uma sibheka iclass la last week, if you notice uma ngivula nga-highlighter i-role engayi-highlighter ngathi le ndaba esiyikhulumayo ya last week no general bekuyindaba ye-risk management ukuthi there are different roles ze-risk. U-general started through the whole process that kind of risk ebesikhuluma ngayo last week. Namhlanje ngifuna ukuthi sikhulume ngendaba ye-leadership so that everyone understand ukuthi when we run a campaign, what is the role of leadership? Ngoba i-leadership igcina i-expectwa ukuthi yenze yonke into, whereas leadership has a specific role and umsebenzi we-leadership is enough ukuthi i-leadership ifocus kuwo rather than ukugxamalaza everywhere. Kanjalo nomuntu oyi-organizer naye unerole yakhe akangagxamalazi everywhere, akaqedele lowo msebenzi ekufanele awenze. Ukhona umbuzo ngaleyo or let me ask you, do we still remember utsathini when we're touching issue yama political campaigns? Ma-Africa sithe la ngama-workshop akusiyi-beach, I can easily make a speech, but lose the meaning of what we need to engage in ngomsebenzi now. So ngiyakhumbula ukuthi we had 4 streams. One was leadership. The other role ebesinayo was coordinators who are responsible for messaging. The other one was organizers who are responsible for project management or making sure that the campaign ihamba as a project. Kwenziwe into ngokulandelana kwazo, kungenziwa izinto before lezi bekufanele zenzeke. Angazi noma ama-Africa sakhumbula ukuthi we touch that element in the campaign.
Yes, leadership. Kunana igraph na nje lo wasibekisela ngayo kule school lesi lebesikhuluma nga in this le issue ema campaigns kule process and the roles ngakuthi ngiyo le graph leyo lebekhuluma ukuthi kunema roles then kune align to strategy then sikune galvanized leadership and the co-create campaign nale execute campaign kuya lembini ukuthi kusebenta kanjani ka ukuthi ngileyo leadership lokukhuluma ngayo leadership
iyo exactly lengikhuluma ngayo omunye i-comment. Thank you. Njengoba sengishilo ukuthi today sizohamba ngokuthi what is the role of a leader ke kule campaign process and the roles in a campaign. Bayang disturb la. So okokuqala ukuthi everything in an organization ima noma iwe ngobuholi. Uma ngithi ubuholi in the context ye campaign ngoba cishe bonke labantu abaholda ama roles ubuholi, particularly the chairmanship, the presidency. Uma i-campaign isikhuluma nge-executive leadership, because angithi sometimes kunama branches. I-executive yasema-branchini ine-role yayo. Nayo it must arrange itself in a similar manner in a campaign, the way i-national leadership ezihlela ngayo. So okokuqala i-problem definition uma i-campaign, because ama-campaigns ayahluka, you might find that the campaign is localized, i-runwa i-branch in full, noma i-campaign is national, i-runwa i-national leadership. So i-national leadership uma irana a national campaign, the first thing iyokuyenza is to identify ama-constituencies. What chaza ukuthini lokho? Chaza ukuthi kufanele kucace ukuthi le campaign esiyenzayo siyenzela obani. Yenzeka kanjani leyo? Ubuyele emumva ukuthi le problem idlubani kakhulu. Angithi siqale ngokuthi sibone ukuthi sinenkinga kuphi, i-problem domain, sayiframe, sayenza i-problem, sayicazulula, sayichaza i-problem until sifika at the bottom ye problem. The bigger the problem in politics, the better for you as a political party. I-problem encane inkinga ukuthi opposition or regime yoyisolve kakhulu iphelile i-campaign. Uma inkinga isolvekile. So ufuna ukuthi inkinga onayo kuba inkinga ejule ngokuthi akulula ukuyisolve. Ake ngivule ispace sokudingida inkinga. In any campaign asingabi specific, or asenze example ngecampaign asingakhulumi ngale campaign ekhona. Asikhulume for example ngecampaign ngecampaign le engahlangana no comrade Thami benza yona, was to, at that time there were families ababe evictiwe in Swaziland. Basuswa phezu komhlaba, baxoshwa kwathi badingiswa, bathunyelwe South Africa, and kwakunamakhosi nokuba namakhosi ngalesikhathi. Manje sikhuluma ngama-parliamentarian 20 years ago, sasidila nenkinga yamakhosi. The beauty about that campaign was that it was difficult for a regime to say to those people, come back. Angazi noma niyayibona ama-Afrika. Niyayazi le campaign engangikhuluma ngayo. Asikhulume
Yes, Macetsheni ngamkhweli.
Exactly. So i-NNLC, that's a campaign engayazi iphethe serious isebenza ngayo, and i-solution was kwakungasi solution engathatheka kumbuso, especially ngaleso sikhathi because so strong kangaka. But what did it do for NNLC ukuthatha i-problem enkulu kangaka?
Okay, as the NNLC.
Mm.
Okay, as the NNLC, that branch was one of our strongholds. We were able to mobilize a lot of members. In that, we were in solidarity with their plight. We tried to help them even financially. So we gained a lot of ground in that aspect. Some of the members, we still have a lot of them today. They were recruited during that time. We even attend their funerals, as a lot of them died due to depression and stress. Yeah.
It even assisted a connection yase-Azania, the so-called South Africa as well. Because uma i-NNLC ifika la engafiki ngokukhuluma ngento eyisomoyeni, ikhuluma ukuthi sifuna i-Pan-Africanism or sifuna i-multi-party democracy. Abantu, they don't connect to those things. They connect kuzinto ezithinta impilo zabo direct. So i-problem yakho must not be a problem ye-party, i-problem yomphakathi. It's perfectly that campaign isebenzela kahle. Then you identify i-problem yini, eviction, ukususwa, ukudingiswa kwabantu ababalekile, ukuthathwa komhlaba wama-Afrika. Yenzelo bani, a specific branch is feeling with the problem yabo. So ukusolveka kwale problem yibo abathola usizo kule project. So you identify those people as a leadership. Awukakhulumi nabo, you just identify. So after identification ye constituency, mina ngithi masisho ngesilungu ngisibuza ukuthi once si identify, because also ukuba broad, ukuvela uvuleleke ukusolve i-problem, ufuna ukusolve i-problem for wonke umuntu, uba ineffective. You need to narrow who you rather have different campaigns and different teams are coordinated, kodwa acishe abe yi-program athela ndawonye. Kodwa it must be very specific i-constituency oyisebenzelayo. Uma uthatha i-problem yothisha and run it as a party, maybe in conjunction with the union, it needs izinto ezehlukile nale campaign ebesikhuluma ngayo yemhlaba nokuthathwa kwemizi nokudingiswa kwabantu nokuthathelwa izinto abantu by the system. So ubuza ukuthi le campaign yenzelwe ubani 5 times. Waziwenza njalo uzofika ekujuleni ukuthi ubani ohlukumezeke kakhulu ngale nkinga. So now you have identified constituents and you are clear that as much as specific kahle, but the bigger the constituency, the better. But into ebalulekile ukuthi you must be specific nge-constituency oyisevayo to a particular problem, which then becomes a campaign. Then leadership fanele izibuze ukuthi sikwazi ukwenzani, imaphi ama-capabilities esinako. Uma sibheka abantu esinabo eqembini, obani abantu abangakwazi ukuthwala lo msebenzi, imaphi amakhono esinawo, Yimapi ama resources esinawo. Yonke i-campaign is different depending ukuthi unama resources anjani. Uma uyi-organization enemali eningi, it's easy ukuthi design i-campaign edinga imali. Uma ungenamali kodwa unesikhathi, it's the same. You can achieve all that objective by using time ngoba i-resources onayo. But ama capabilities okufanele either adinge i-campaign or onawo, those two things must match each other, or you must redesign a campaign differently. Remember ukuthi the other streams are doing ominye imisebenzi. You remember what the other streams are doing eminye imisebenzi. While leadership, they just focus on the basic things. So ukuthi si identify the campaign. Once say identify the campaign, the other streams must start, or other roles. Fanele aqale enze umsebenzi wabo ngesizokudisasa ngesinye isikhathi. Then in the same, as we move to the next step, sifika ku co-creation, leadership must already know ukuthi sidinga i-skills amakhono awu-7. Sinamakhono awu-7 and awu-2 amakhono ethu are irrelevant. Awabalekanga or awahlangana wezokusebenza la. Sizosebenzisa amakhono awu-5. Sidinga ukuthola amakhono awu-2. Sizowathola either sizohamba siyoqeqesha abantu bethu, alternatively sizohamba sifune ezinye inhlangano esingasebenzisana nazo ukuze le campaign ibe impumelelo. Uyabona manje sesikhuluma nge-United Front ukuthi build a united front. Example ile campaign yamanje, it's run by the United Front. That's why ubona president no national chairperson behlala bekwi PPA, if I'm not mistaken, because that's a united front ngale campaign esinayo. Angibuyele campaign yama 90s 2000. Ngithi it was clear ukuthi say identify a problem, say identify a constituency, specific branch, namanje sa-benefita from imsebenzi esawenza kuleyo campaign. Ake ngibuze ukuthi what skill, what capabilities, yimapi amakhono ayedingeka ukuze leyo campaign iphumelele. A-identify by leadership. Nginibuza ngale ndala ngoba ngifuna ukunibuza ngalentsha ngoba lentsha so sikhipha ama secrets and asifuna ukuthi ama secrets organization aziwe. I think, for example, le campaign le ebengisho earlier, into ebalekile international solidarity kakhulu. Angazi comrades, if you can assist comrades esasebenza nabo ebusheni bethu ukuthi as you were working, what inspired you? Ukala, for example, because that's a campaign here sihlanganisa i-NLC Youth League ne-Pan-Africanist Youth Congress at that time as a school manager, because there was a time where the youth practically carried the NNLC in terms of the international solidarity. Youth endala ithule manje. Comrade Philile, comrade.
Sorry, comrade, I missed the question.
The first question bewukuthi ama-capabilities esasiwadinga sa-identify i-constituency. You explain to us ukuthi kune-branch eyayiclear kumagciki legama liyangidlula ukulibiza every time. That's why Magcetsheni.
Yes.
Emagcetsheni we identified inangzana i-constituency. Sase si-identifya amakhono esiwadingayo ukuze sikwazi ukubamba i-campaign. Ngase ngithi one of them kwakuyi-international solidarity. Nayenza kanjani ukuze ni-identify leyo campaign?
I'll give this one to Comrade Tammy to answer.
You have been avoiding to talk here. This is unfair. No, comrades. Firstly, the first thing that we did was to win the heart and soil of the chieftains and the Induna. So we won the heart of the traditional household of that constituent. And they were in competition, it was not only NNC, we were in competition with Putemo. So we won Magcetsheni, and then Putemo then ran and forced with Bawine Kamkweli chieftain because we were competing. So the first thing that we did was to win the stronghold, the center. Then outside of the country, we went to our partners, the PAC, and we also engaged the ANC because the district the people that was there, they were ANC. So the Basmuge the ANC, but we were also working with the ANC when they were.
Please proceed, comrades. The comrades about Kulmai.
Okay, and then laba bebahamba embili saba identify ukuthi batakhona ku-signal talent was the youth. Not necessarily because I was youth at the time, but because bekubonakala ukuthi ngibona laba khona ukugijima, ngibona laba avele ngibona bane commitment. But our leadership under President Obed Dlamini would always give us the resource. They did the resource mobilization. We did the groundwork on the ground. And we always ensured that Kamkweli Day was celebrated every year at that time. And then my resources to ensure that my families, at least they get plowing, farm inputs so that they could continue with farming because they're not getting support from the government. Yet they needed to continue with their farming. So NNLC went out and bought the farming inputs inside and outside of the country to ensure that Labantu continue to get food. I think I'll end there. Thanks.
Angibuyele emuva ke kuloko explainile so that sibe in context. Uyayibona manje ekuqaleni we said identify constituency, identify the branch. Which is a region of the country. Manje uyamkhumbula ngithe uthi izoserve ubani. Uyayibona manje you say narrow it down comrade uthi induna namakhosi were the critical ones. Ukuba winner first. So the primary constituency kwaba i-traditional leadership ya leyo region. So constituency identification was very smart. Uyayibona manje opposition wants to do the same thing, but already since Movile they cannot get into the same space. Then comrades are highlighting important things. Ukuthi ama skills ayidingeka was fundraising. Uyayibona fundraising uyababo manje abafuna isikhwama for iqembu. Bafuna isikhwama for a problem, which is land, eviction, and farming. So, kune capability manje wakufanele bebe show ukuthi baya establish abayifunda i-capability yokukhuphula isikhwama or fundraising. You heard ukuthi now there's event every year because there's a need. Then skills event management becomes critical. Ne skills of mobilize youth. So manje uneyikile ezi4 as necessary for the project to succeed. Ku campaign ke not in awuyenzi into kayi1. Uyeza udlulele phambili ubuyele emuva. I can assure you ukuthi abazidevelopanga zonke abawadevelopanga onke lamakhono same time. But leadership was continuously focused. Uyezwa ukuthi leadership yayingekho even on the ground. Leadership yona irole yabo, they saw it as making finance available to those who can run. Output esokhuluma ngayo to an organization was highly impactful, as you can see. Mafrika nansebenza nobani outside the party. Lento ethi ibalekile ukuthi iqembu i-problem uma iqembu lingasebenza lodwa, it means that leyo problem i-light, i-shallow, ayijulile ngokwanele.
Outside the NNLC, we were working with Justice and Peace, which was the church, to mobilize and give solidarity with us. We also identify international media and internal media to push the case of Kamachene Kamkoyeli issue. And then we were forced at times, regardless of we were different political parties put them in NNC, but at times we'll find there is a time where we have to make statements together so that the people would not see the fights between the two parties, but they will see the plight of the people that we're fighting for. So there were technicalities, those basically fully, but we were forced to say, ngeke phela sifikeleni ababone silwa labantu ngoba bona abangenelani nepolitiki bangenelana nelisito. Outside of the country bese ngike ngasho ngathi kule ward le bebakuyo le eSouth Africa, we were working with the regional singakhohlwa ukuthi bekubani, but bekune region ye ANC le bengiyona irresponsible ukugatsa ukuthi imbokotho ayiba intimidate labo shift. And then my members at NNLC and PAC labo wathutana would go there and send food labo shift. But labe basele emakhaya labe bahlupheka kakhulu, baxoshwe etikolweni, baphushwe kuphi besebenza nasinathi kusita ukuthi labantwana labalahlekele ba relocate letinye tikolo la sathi khona ukuthi there is either lunga le NNLC or nasinathi head teacher abathathe abafaka so that baneto lahlekelwa imfundo because incumbi yabo baxoshwa kanye nale minti.
Now uyabona ke ukuthi now what is important ke kunangizana ku building ukuthi i-NNLC had prepared enough early. When we go to the other stream, uzobona ukuthi and the time allows in another session, uzobona ukuthi because kunomsebenzi owenzeka in the other streams, i-NNLC by the time yakha i-United Front ukusebenzisana kwamaqembu yakha i-political parties yezwa ukuthi tactical because ama-political parties silwela ispace esiyi-1, sorry, but we are working a lot nama-NGO, we are working a lot nama-trade unions, sisebenza ne-international media. International media, you find ukuthi as the time goes by, it's a tactical relationship more than a strategic one. NGOs also can change their minds depending on their funders. But when you crafted the problem enough, isute into abayenzayo bona, like you are highlighting a church, umsebenzi wayo ukwehlisa ukwenza umoya ube right. So mawuhluphekile uhlukumezeka angeke uhlala umoya ube right. So uyabona ukuthi lo msebenzi owenzekayo then uyahlangana nalo msebenzi we-justice and peace, uyahlangana nalo msebenzi wesonto which is behind the justice and peace, and also a political party, because sometimes a relationship is strategic, sometimes the relationship is tactical. Uyakhumbula nkathi sikhuluma ngephilosophy sithi you have to choose your friends and decide ukuthi this is a friend esihamba naye indlela ende, this is a friend esisebenzisana naye just as this peace pair. Leye Pudemo ukuthi sisebenzisana nePudemo just to issue the statement, because as political parties kuye kuthiwa nesilungu esikhulu, ama-waves umayiphakama, amagagasi umayiphakama, yonke imikhumbi iphakama nawo. So sithi as political parties, as long as ama-political parties are accepted as useful entities, then all the political parties would benefit. Sonke siya benefit. Sisebenza ngento esibenefita kuyo sonke, sihlukane ngoba asizwani sokwesilwele lama constituencies. Angazi ukuthi angeke sithole ukuphefumula ngaphandle kwethu sobathathu esinikeza ihistory yale campaign, ukuze sizwe ukuthi asikhulumi nje ezasebusheni bethu ezisijabulisayo. Hayi kusathulekile. Awuyi ku-United Front, awusebenzisane namanye amaqembu ungenayo istrategy sakho, ungazi ukuthi ubani omdingayo ubani ongamdingi kulo msebenzi esiphezu kwawo. Ubani odinga ukuphuma, uzophuma kanjani? Wena uzophuma kanjani kule United Front? Yikuphi la uzovela khona as NNLC, yikuphi la uzovela khona as PPA? Because awufuni i-United Front ikunyamalaliswa ungasabonakala. So umsebenzi we-leadership njengoba bengisho, you see the national chairperson, you see the president being in the forefront yokuhlanganisa i-PPA. Now awudingi wonke umuntu ukuthi abe busy ngokwakhe i-PPA, because lo umsebenzi we-executive leadership kuphela. Abanye abantu fanele bebe busy ngokwenza ezinye izinto. Leadership fanele yenza ubudlelwane nama-constituencies, yenza ubudlelwane nabantu esingasebenzisana nabo, yenza ubudlelwane nama-funders nabantu abangasinikeza ama-resources. Angazi noma siyezwana.
Siyevana comrade.
Ake sithi sabenefitani ke ekugcineni. Sesi alignile ne-strategy se-party, i-campaign, because i-campaign is a subset ye-strategy. Inangzana iqembu liyazi ukuthi liyaphi, yiziphi ama-priorities, bese kuba nama-campaign asupporta leyo strategy ukuze kwazeke ukufika ekugcineni. I-NNLC ifuna ukuba umbuso eSwaziland, kodwa ama-campaign athi asisiza abantu ukuthi le campaign yasemagcekeni asimobilize othisha as a campaign to i-organization e-friendly kithi, as-organize ama-unionist ukuze singene kwamanye ama-unions. Uyabona ukuthi there are different campaigns. All those campaigns have to be managed. Izinto asifanele zizenzekele nje. And we continue to build i-front ukuze sifike la sifuna ukuya khona. Lastly, awuqali nabantu i-campaign ukuze yaziwe ukuthi i-campaign ye-NNLC. I-NNLC ayiqali nokuqala. Khona nayo yonke lama organization esisebenza nayo kuyi-front. Uyabo United Front iyama-executor. akufanele i-United Front siplane i-campaign sesine United Front. Fanele siyiplane siyi-NNLC. Sazi ukuthi thina sime kanjani, sifunani, izokwenzeka kanjani. Bese siya ku-constituency nabantu esisebenzisana nayo sinale plan lethu eliclear. Ngoba singabantu abafunda from experience, asibi dogmatic ukuthi ngoba iplan lethu lalithi masiqala icampaign asizukushintsha. Siyafunda, siya-accepta ama-opinion because asisebenzisani nabantu ngendlela yokubaxhaphaza, ukubathathela phansi. Siyabahlonipha abantu esisebenzela nabo, so imbono yabo siyithatha serious. Kodwa as much as sithatha imbono serious, siyawazi lo mbono ukuthi besiwulindele ukuthi ungahle ufike, and uyi-advantage kithi, uyi-disadvantage kithi. Kunama-disadvantage ekufanele siwamukele because it just takes us forward. Lastly, ukusustain-ke i-campaign leadership fanele reflecte every time ama-meetings fanele kube yi-point of reflection, ukwenza sathatha isinqumo, sasenza, siphumelele kanjani. So ukutholakala kwe-information or i-data ibalulekile ukuthi si-collect i-data, reporting. Angithi amanye ama-report kwamanye ama-campaign cannot be written, but i-campaign fanele ibe structured. Uma above ground ngempela sebenza kulula, i-campaign ilula, written reports ayabaluleka so that sizo-analyze, because every campaign i-output yayo fanele ikhulise i-capability ye-party. Fanele kube nama-capabilities amasha by the time siphumela ngale. Kumagcetsheni already it was said ukuthi the biggest output ukuthi i-youth were able to mobilize the youth, were able to get a membership, a loyal, even loyal 20 years after. As Coleman Africa. Lastly, i-campaign engashintshi i-society i-useless. I-campaign fanele ishintshe i-society. I-campaign yasewadini yasebranchini yasemagcetsheni, if ayishintshanga indlela abantu abaphila khona ngayo, it means ukuthi i-problem yethu was too shallow. Yayingekho deep enough. Mafrika ngimele comment yenu before ngineze sivale.
Yes, Chief. Can you clarify your question again?
Ngithi any comment, because we were almost at the end before, but eyakho ngifuna ekugcineni.
Okay, now ngiphili. No comment.
Okay, comrade, I do not have any comment. I think everything for me is clear.
Mxolisa ukasho lutho. Anything from you namhlanje, important or a question? Hayi, angiyeza usihlalo. Before kodwa ngene usihlalo, into ebalulekile namhlanje ukuthi kwi-campaign sinama roles ayi-4. Kulama roles ayi-4, i-leadership fanele idlale i-role yayo. Ma-Afrika aningenzi leadership idlale lamanye ama-role because iyasuka kwi-position yayo. That's why kufanele sisebenze as an organization. Uma usaphemba i-organization i-NLC manje isiqinile indaba. Akusafane isebenze njenge-organization entsha. Ngakho i-leadership fanele inikezwe ispace sokucabanga. Ayingabi busy njengama-foot soldiers. Because i-leadership mayibhizi njengama-foot soldiers, ayinasikhathi sokuyohlala iphozitiye nama-potential partners. Ayinaso isikhathi sokureflecta nge-constituency right ekufanele sebenze ngayo. Ayinaso isikhathi sokureflecta ngokuthi yimaphi amakhono esinawo nesingenawo ekufanele siwakhe eqembini. Because iqembu fanele likhule ngamakhono, likhule ngey'namba zabantu. Sihlalo sivalele.
Okay, maybe before Sihlalo asivalele, you've just opened my eyes on a number of things that I actually didn't see back then. Looking at the fact that nangabe khona lengwendago as a campaign, a organization, it's not just supposed to be a campaign, but there should be things you are expecting to get out of that campaign that will strengthen the organization. Nebuka lana nje ukuthi we didn't only gain membership as the NNLC emacecheni, but it marketed the party. We started being known in that area in Ramkwele as well as the country as a whole, because the media statements that we made are part of a marketing strategy. So the party got a lot of marketing during the time, not only inside the country, also outside, because other than the PAC, we were roped in that branch of the ANC at Secunda. So as the NNLC, again, we were getting recognition from other parties. So I'm understanding that as an organization, whatever campaign we make, let's make sure we get out with something that is of a significant use to the party. Thank you. Let me give a Sihlalo.
Thank you very much, Africa. This was very, very good. It's unfortunate ukuthi labanye abaphese sebayaphelelwa ngamadata sebayanyamalala. But umuntu uyabonga andlulisa kubonga kwakhe. Nekusho lokho ukuthi as we sit now, we've got more people being attacked by the ruling system. We hope ukuthi such would assist us to remember ukuthi singabuki the dust kuphela sikhumbule ukuthi outside of the dust there is life. Whatever we're doing now might be beneficiary as we move along, might not be seen now, just like in the Machecheni issue. We were running, but we're not clear ukuthi 1, 2, 3 tawende kanjani, but things did happen. So we're hopeful. Yes, Ramaphosa didn't give us the best that we wanted, but we're hopeful that we are going to push until we get what we want. Siyabonga, Africa.
Also, before Hambem Africa, we just thank you very much for taking a time. We know it's a very busy time in South Africa with the elections going on. So we don't take this one for granted. We know you've been running around a lot, campaigning, and we are hopeful that seeing a lot of ANC members did not vote for the party. For the ANC, some abstained, some voted for the other smaller parties. We are praying to see the PAC rise and take that opportunity of the ANC falling to rise. We are with you in prayer that you really rise as the PAC and play a significant role in South Africa. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The good news is that at 6, we had already 8 new areas where we never had councillors. Abo Maspala, we have 278. We already have.
That's great news.
Have new areas that we never had councillors on. So it's been a good campaign so far.
Yeah, so 2024 will be even much better.
it will be much better. Thank you
Yes.
very much, comrades.
Thank you, comrade. Have a good night.
Now, chairperson, future